Story 1 of 7. US pauses Project Freedom to negotiate with Iran amid Strait of Hormuz crisis. US pauses Project Freedom to negotiate with Iran amid Strait of Hormuz crisis. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Donald Trump announced pausing Project Freedom, US effort to guide vessels out of the Strait of Hormuz, on 2026-0506 to finalize a deal with Iran, citing requests from Pakistan and other countries, military success, and progress in negotiations. Project Freedom was paused after less than 2 full days of operation, with only 2 US flagships successfully passing through the Strait of Hormuz under US protection. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio stated that the military objectives of Operation Epic Fury against Iran have concluded, and ongoing US military action in the Strait of Hormuz is defensive in nature. Iran's parliamentary speaker and chief negotiator, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, or Ghalibaf, dismissed the US proposal as Operation Trust Me Bro failed on X, Twitter, mocking the abrupt halt to Project Freedom. The US naval blockade on Iranian ports remains in place, depriving Tehran of oil revenue and straining its economy. But not all outlets told the same story. The Guardian states Iran's parliamentary speaker is Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, while The Age refers to him as Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, likely the same person, but different spelling. The Guardian reports the US claims it sunk 6 Iranian boats, while Iran disputes this, saying 2 civilian cargo boats were hit, killing 5 civilians. The Guardian states the US has deployed over 100 military aircraft, while The Age claims 15,000 American service members are operating a squad of over 100 aircraft. Potential ambiguity in numbers. This story was covered by The Guardian, SBS News, Sydney Morning Herald, and The Age.
Story 2 of 7. UK PM Keir Starmer faces growing calls to resign amid Labour Party crisis. UK PM Keir Starmer faces growing calls to resign amid Labour Party crisis. Here's what every outlet agrees on. More than 70 Labour MPs have publicly called for Keir Starmer to resign or set a timetable for his departure. 4 frontbench ministers or ministerial aides resigned, including Jess Phillips, Tom Rutland, Joe Morris, and Melanie Ward. Labour suffered a crushing defeat in local elections on 2026-0509, losing 20% of its vote and control of the Welsh Parliament for the first time. Keir Starmer gave a speech on 2026-0511, acknowledging public frustration and pledged to prove his doubters wrong, saying, "I know I have my doubters, and I know I need to prove them wrong, and I will." A leadership challenge requires 81 Labour MPs, 20% of the parliamentary party, to trigger a contest. But not all outlets told the same story. The Guardian and ABC report that more than 70 Labour MPs have called for Starmer's resignation. But ABC also states that 80 Labour MPs are publicly calling for his resignation, while The Guardian mentions 60 MPs initially calling for his resignation before the number grew. ABC states that 4 frontbench resignations have occurred, while The Guardian and News mention 4 ministerial aides resigning, with some sources including junior ministers in the count. The Guardian reports that Catherine West initially threatened to trigger a leadership challenge, but later called for a timetable, while ABC and News do not mention her initial threat, but focus on her collecting names for a September timetable. This story was covered by ABC News, The Guardian, news.com.au, and SUS News.
Story 3 of 7. Charges dropped in Melbourne teen Isla Bell murder case. New perverting justice charges filed. Charges dropped in Melbourne teen Isla Bell murder case. New perverting justice charges filed. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Marat Ganiev, 55, was initially charged with murder in November 2024 for the alleged killing of Isla Bell, 19, after her remains were found in a rubbish truck at a Dandenong waste depot on November 20th, 2024. The manslaughter charge against Ganiev was withdrawn on May 12, 2026, due to insufficient evidence to support the charge, as stated by the Office of Public Prosecutions, OPP. Ganiev will now face a new charge of attempting to pervert the course of justice, with a summary of allegations to be served within 2 weeks. El Yafi, 59, had all charges against him dropped on May 12, 2026, and left the court a free man. Forensic pathologists were unable to determine how Isla Bell died, or whether her injuries occurred before or after death during a committal hearing. But not all outlets told the same story. The Guardian and ABC do not mention the OPP's statement that they had confidence in the manslaughter charge until 4 days ago, which is reported by News Canal and The Age. The Age and News Como state that Yaffe was granted bail on a $20,000 surety in November 2024, but this detail is not mentioned in Guardian or ABC. The Guardian and ABC do not include the quote from David Spokes about the justice system being hardwired to limit effective prosecution, which is in News Como and The Age. This story was covered by ABC News, The Guardian, news.com.au and The Age.
Story 4 of 7. Australia's 2026 federal budget introduces major tax reforms on negative gearing and capital gains tax. Australia's 2026 federal budget introduces major tax reforms on negative gearing and capital gains tax. Here's what every outlet agrees on. The 2026 federal budget was handed down on May 12, 2026 by Treasurer Jim Chalmers. Negative gearing will be restricted to new builds only from July 1, 2027, with existing investors grandfathered. The 50% capital gains tax (CGT) discount will be replaced with inflation-adjusted indexation from July 1, 2027, with a minimum 30% tax rate on capital gains. The government expects the combined reforms to negative gearing and CGT to raise an additional $3.6 billion over the next 5 years. A new $250 annual tax offset for 13.3 million working Australians will start from July 2027. But not all outlets told the same story. The Guardian and ABC say the budget will raise $3.6 billion from CGT and negative gearing reforms over the next 5 years. But news.com.au states it will raise $3.6 billion in the 2027-2028 financial year. The Guardian and news.com.au say the budget will introduce a $250 tax offset for workers starting from July 2027, but ABC states it will start from mid-2028. The Guardian and news.com.au say the budget will cut the NDIS by $35 billion over 4 years, but ABC states it will cut $36.2 billion over 4 years. This story was covered by ABC News, The Guardian, news.com.au, Sydney Morning Herald and The Age.
Story 5 of 7. High Court appeal over Mount Pleasant coal mine extension in New South Wales. High Court appeal over Mount Pleasant coal mine extension in New South Wales. Here's what every outlet agrees on. The High Court is hearing an appeal on May 12, 2026, regarding the 22-year extension of MAC Energy's Mount Pleasant open-cut coal mine in the Upper Hunter Valley, New South Wales. The Denman Aberdeen Muswell Brook Scone Healthy Environment Group, DAMSHG, is challenging the extension, arguing the Independent Planning Commission, IPC, failed to consider climate change impacts in its 2022 approval. The New South Wales Court of Appeal ruled in July 2025 that the IPC's decision was invalid due to inadequate climate change impact assessment, halting the extension. MAC Energy's Mount Pleasant optimisation project would extract an additional 444 million tonnes of coal and produce 870 million tonnes of CO2 over the extension period. The mine's original closure was scheduled for 2026, but the IPC granted a 22-year extension to 2048. But not all outlets told the same story. Newscomo states the mine's extension would produce 870 million tonnes of CO2, while ABC does not specify a total CO2 figure, but focuses on the legal interpretation of emissions assessments. Newscomo explicitly mentions the mine's original approval was in 1999, but ABC does not reference this date. This story was covered by ABC News and news.com.au.
Story 6 of 7. Trump-Xi summit amid Iran war, trade tensions and Taiwan risks. Trump-Xi summit amid Iran war, trade tensions and Taiwan risks. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Donald Trump will meet Xi Jinping in Beijing for a 2-day summit starting May to 12, 2026, marking his first visit to China in nearly a decade, last visit in 2017. The summit follows a temporary trade truce agreed in Busan in October 2025, which caused tit-for-tat tariffs. US tariffs reached 145% at one point. China is the world's largest buyer of Iranian oil, about 80% of Iranian oil shipments in 2025. And the US has accused China-based companies of aiding Iran's military, e.g. satellite imagery, missile precursor chemicals. The Strait of Hormuz closure due to the Iran war has disrupted global oil flows, impacting China's economy and trade. Trump has stated he does not need China's help to end the Iran war, claiming the US has it very much under control and will win one way or another. But not all outlets told the same story. The Guardian states Trump's Iran war has exposed the limitations of US power, while ABC's Trump claims the US has Iran very much under control and will win one way or another. The Guardian reports Trump's arms package for Taiwan, is stalled, but ABC does not mention the specific figure or delay. Guardian sources say China cannot control Iran, while ABC's Anja Manuel suggests China may use its influence to pressure Tehran indirectly. This story was covered by ABC News and The Guardian.
Story 7 of 7. Explosive ATM attack at Victoria Market injures man, police investigate. Explosive ATM attack at Victoria Market injures man, police investigate. Here's what every outlet agrees on. 3 people allegedly used explosives to access an ATM on Victoria Street around 2:45 a.m. on May 12, 2026. One man in his 40s was treated for serious upper body injuries and taken to the Alfred Hospital in a serious condition. The injured man is under police guard in hospital and will be interviewed. 2 other suspects fled the scene on foot, with one later located on Peel Street. Police urge the public to provide dash cam or CCTV footage via Crime Stoppers 1800 33000. But not all outlets told the same story. No contradictions found between the 2 sources on key factual details. This story was covered by ABC News and news.com.au.